Guys, today is the day. Today we are comparing a UK nurse payslip versus a US nurse payslip.
So my paycheck payslip is
Oh
my god, I can't even say. And my gross was
Stop that. So we've gone through our payslips, okay, to bring out our payslips that we can really compare. I mean, it will not be fair to compare a payslip where one did way more hours than the other. Priscilla here actually gets 2 payslips in a month. However, in the UK, I get paid just once in a month. Okay, so there will be a bit of some differences, but this is the closest we could get, like the closest in terms of the number of hours that we could actually compare. I hope I'm making sense. So let me introduce myself for those who don't know me. My name is Nanelle. I'm a Ghanaian trained nurse currently practicing in the UK. I work in a care home. I'm a registered nurse. I'm the, band 5. That's like the band you start with as a nurse in the UK. In the UK, the ranks in the nursing are in bands. So if you're a newly graduated nurse or if you're from another country, you start at band 5. So I am at the basic level. I'm at band 5. So this is basic. It's not like I'm going to compare a high ranked nurse payslip to whatever. Also, I am in Northern Ireland, which is part of the UK. So, Priscilla, you are our US nurse. Can you introduce yourself? Tell us the setting where you're working and your level as a nurse.
Okay, thank you very much, Nanelle. Hello, everybody. My name is Priscilla Kumam. I'm also a foreign trained nurse. I schooled at the University of Ghana back in Ghana. I moved over to the US where I practice as a registered nurse. I'm based in New York State, which is upstate New York. So what I'm about to tell you will shock you. You might doubt it, but I live in New York State, but my pay slip does not reflect the New York pay you hear in the news. I used to work in an inpatient setting, bedside massage. I recently moved to outpatient. Inpatient pay is entirely different from outpatient. And also, I recently got promoted. So I'm a level 3 RN. I started out as level 2 RN. The levels are numbers. So RN 1, 2, and 3. I joined as RN 2 because I had gathered about 7 years experience before I came to the US. So they considered that and hired me as RN 2. And I had to do a lot of project work and a lot of presentation to get my RN 3. But this pay slip reflects my RN 2 salary. So basically, that is all about me. My name is on the screen. And I also create content for nurses who want to work in USA and also the lead consultant for USR and Pathway Consult, as you can see here. So yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, so she helps nurses relocate to the US. I'll leave a screenshot of her YouTube page and, I'll leave details on how you can contact her in the description as well. So you are a level 3 RN, but your payslip you are sharing now is a level 2 RN payslip.
Yes.
Is the level 2 RN payslip very, very different from a level 1 RN payslip?
Not very, very different.
Okay, so that's fair enough. Okay,
yeah.
So I get paid £19 per hour. How much do you get paid?
So as of December 2022, I was being paid 35.22. As I said, this is upstate New York. When my colleagues are being paid like $99 or $100 an hour, I am being paid 35.22 because of low cost of living where I am in the suburbs.
With this pay slip that I'm comparing today, at the time, my contracted hours was 39 hours per week. Okay, I do 4 shifts this week, 3 shifts the next week, 4 the third week, and 3 again. So it's 4, 3, 4, 3. However, like in recent times, I have changed it because of childcare. I've reduced it. You understand? 39 hours times 4 is 156 hours per month. So in the whole month, I'm supposed to do 156 hours in that month. How many hours are you contracted to work?
Okay, so in the US, when you're hired, your hours are fixed. So I was hired for 40 hours a week. There are some people who are hired for 36 hours a week. That means you do 3 12s and you are done. You have 4 days off. So I do 4 10s. I work 10 hours for 4 days, 40 hours a week. So because we are paid bi-weekly, the paycheck is twice a week. So that makes 80 hours a week, 80 hours for the paycheck, 80 hours. So 40 hours a week, 80 hours per paycheck. We are paid twice a month, but in a month it'll be 160 total.
In my company, some people I work with, they have their breaks paid. But with my contract, my breaks are not paid. And we have 1 hour break each shift. And my shift is like 12 hours. So I have 1 hour break. So that means I have to work for 11 hours. However, sometimes it's so busy, you don't even get time to go for your break. So this is based on a 12-hour shift with 1 hour unpaid break. What about you?
Yes, so we have paid breaks and we have only 30 minutes break that is paid. When you're doing a longer shift of 12 hours, back when I used to be at the bedside in hospital, you get 15 minutes, then you can get another 30. That means 45. They are all paid. But in my 10-hour shift a day, I only get 30 minutes and it's a paid break.
I know with overtime rates, you guys call it shift differentials in the US. So in the UK, where I work, whether you do a weekend or you do a weekday or you do night or you do day, it's standard. I get paid £19 per hour, whether I do my Monday shift or a Saturday evening shift. The only times I get paid differently is if it's a holiday, a bank holiday. However, it's not even all bank holidays that are considered holidays by my company. They choose specific holidays, the very popular ones, like Christmas, like New Year, and I think two more, maybe Easter or something. The other many holidays are not considered holidays, so you don't get holiday pays. Yes, the only other time you get paid a bit higher is if you go above your contracted hours. So in a month, I'm supposed to do 156 hours in that month. So any additional hour I do on top of that 156, I get paid a time and a quarter. So that means £19 plus a quarter of it, which is 4.75, which is 23.75 for overtime. What is your overtime rate and your shift differentials?
We have shift differential. Anytime you work weekends, your pay is different. When you work nights, your pay is different. They are always higher. Holidays, your pay is different. For holidays, you're entitled to 8-hour pay. So I who work 10 hours, when it's a holiday, I'm not happy because I'm only going to be paid 8 hours and I lose 2 hours. Yes, by your shift, when you do, that's what a lot of people like to do weekend night. When you do weekends, you get higher pay. When you do nights, you get higher pay. So imagine doing nights on a weekend on a holiday. That's a lot. So a lot of people are just hired. So there's some people who are hired solely for weekends. Some people are hired solely for nights. Some people are hired for day shifts. Some people can move in between. So when you go overtime, let's say 40 hours a week is what is expected of me. If I go over 40 hours, I get a time and a half. So if this is 35.22, let's pick it at 35, and I'm gonna get 35 plus half of it. Half of 35 is about maybe 17.5. So if my math is right, 35 plus 17 is about 52 an hour if I go overtime. And if I do that on night shift or weekend or holiday, boom, that's a lot of money. Yes.
Wow.
Those are the things we do to beef up our hourly pay. We just don't rely on what you've been hired for.
Okay, so my overtime is a time and a quarter. Your overtime is a time and a half.
Yes.
And yours is around 52 and mine is around 23.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And then so this is a 52 overtime, and then is it the same 52 that you get paid on a weekend night?
So when you go for nights, you get night points as well. Some of them are in cents, like 0.8 or something. They are very little, but the night also adds up to that. So you get more than that 52 when you do them on night.
So what are your duties at your current place of work? So I work in a nursing home. So we take care of mentally ill residents and people with learning disabilities and then, frail elderly people as well. So basically we make care plans for them. We assess them based on the kind of needs. Some people, they have wounds that need dressed. We do that. Some people, they are unable to manage their medication. So we give them medication. And we also help them with their activities of daily living, like their mobility, their elimination, all that. And then we are constantly in communication with other members of the multidisciplinary team on their behalf. So if they need a physio assessment or a physio referral, we would, assess them and based on that, do the referral for them, get them seen and work hand in hand with the other members of the MDT just for their overall health. So it's just basically all these things. And I am usually in charge of averagely 24 residents. We have two different units. So sometimes I'm in charge of 15 residents. Sometimes I'm in charge of 24 residents. And usually I'm the only nurse on duty with other nurse assistants. And what is your work like?
Okay, so as I said in my introduction, I used to work bedside message, and that would have been the best situation to compare with what you are currently doing. But I currently work in imaging or outpatient radiology, where we have like CT scans, X-rays, MRIs. So basically, people come in to take all these diagnostic scans just to rule out whatever is going on. Most of them are cancer patients, so they have ports, Mediports, IVAD. So we assess the ports, we place IV for some of them. Lots of people have reaction to contrast dye. We give a lot of contrast dye. Some are oral contrast dye, some are PIV, IV contrast dye, and a lot of people have reactions to them. So you always have to be standing by to monitor or manage the reaction. We do triage or send patients to the hospital. You call 911, you manage basic reactions. You give people contrast if they have to drink it. You help people, assist them in rooming in and all the stuff. Some people are just coming in to do a scan and they fall on ice in the hallway. That is also your job to take care of. So basically, that's what we do. It is strictly outpatient. People are supposed to walk in and walk out by themselves. It's ambulatory. You are not supposed to be an inpatient person. You have to walk in. Even though some people come in a wheelchair, some people are higher lifts and hover lifts and all that. Basically, it's just like an IV team. You just come do IV, do assess Mediports, remove Mediports, transfer people to the hospital if they do have a reaction. And that's what we do. Yeah.
Now, the time that most of you have been waiting for. So with this pay slip that I am bringing out, I worked a total of 144.71 hours. And my gross was 2,749.49. So can you please tell us the number of hours and then your gross?
My pay slip is bi-weekly. Americans don't say pay slip, by the way. They say paycheck or pay stub. So my paycheck, pay slip, pay stub, it's 2 weeks of work. So if I say 2,000, you just multiply it by 2. That will give you a monthly average, an idea of what we're talking about. So the one I have here is another 80 hours of work because I do 40 hours a week. So 2 weeks makes 80 hours. So I did 80 hours at $35.22 an hour back in 2022 December. And my gross, let's see. Oh my God, I can't even say. Drum roll, drum roll, drum roll. So my 80 hours of work, as I said, I do 40 hours a week and we are paid every 2 weeks. So this is 80 hours of work. This is 2 weeks of work. And my gross was 3038.83, $3,083.83. And this is just for 2 weeks. So another 2 weeks will make it a month. So if you're multiplying this figure by 2, let's say my gross is about 6,120 for 160 hours of work a month, if that makes sense.
So unfortunately, I don't have any payslip where I worked 160 hours per month at my basic rate. So the one that was closest to the 160 hours was the 144. And that is what we are comparing now. And I said I had 2,749.49. So let's change mine to dollars as well to make it easy. So this is, I'm comparing 144.71 hours to 160 hours. I had $3,361 per month for 144 hours. And you had 6,000. So like double what I had, 6,000. So now let's look at the deductions because sometimes the gross does not really reflect how much you're taking home at all. So let's look at the deductions in the entire month, my deductions, okay? So I was deducted for 3 main things. In the UK, like usually it's just these 3 main things. So I was deducted tax of £356 and NI of 263.61 and pension of 90.78. So the total deductions for me was 710.59 pounds. So my take home at the end of all the deductions for that 1 month was 2,038 pounds, okay, which is about $2,492 for the entire month. What were your deductions in the month?
That sounds really good to me because mine is a lot. I have so many deductions. So let me start reading them to you. For everybody who works in the US, you are paying 2 types of taxes, major taxes. You are paying one called the federal tax. That is, you are paying America, country. Federal tax is country. And there's a state tax. So I'm paying for America, the entire country, federal tax, and I'm paying tax for New York State. If you're living in Ohio, Virginia, you are paying tax for that state. New York is known for business. It's a booming place. The taxes in New York are very high, so people don't want to live here. So let's talk about my federal tax and then my states and the other things I pay for health insurance and all that stuff.
Hey!
Yep, they are very huge. The federal amount that was deducted was $214, and the state took out $145.49. There are other things like my health insurance that I pay for, that is voluntary. You are not compelled to sign up with the workplace insurance, but my workplace insurance is actually good. So if you work there, you might as well sign up for that. So I have one towards just medical. I pay $17.18, $17 with every check. My dental is $4.58. And then the whole insurance, the HSA, there's an account we call HSA where you put money in to buy your medication so that the prices are reduced and stuff. I voluntarily said I'll put $100 per paycheck for that HSA account I have. You can use it to go to the hospital, buy medication, buy your glasses and stuff like that. Retirement, which is also voluntary, is $151.67. There's long-term disability, 11.03. There is basic life insurance, 3.17. There is accidental death and dismemberment, that is 0.22 cents. It's a long list.
So your total deductions for a 2-week period, was how much?
582.32. And that is a summary of all the taxes and the insurances I just mentioned.
And that's for 2 weeks. So in a month, you are paying times 2 of that. So times 2 of that is about 1,164.
Yes.
Wow. What was your take home?
My take home for the 2-week period was 2172.20. $2,172.20. That's for 2 weeks.
So that means we had nearly the same amount. Mm-hmm. Your 2 weeks paycheck was nearly the same as my 1 month paycheck.
Yeah.
Your 80 hours paycheck was nearly the same as my 144 hours paycheck, because my 144 hours paycheck was approximately $2,492, and yours was $2,170 something dollars. Wow. So in a month, you made nearly double what I made. That's $4,344. So guys, this is for you. And you earlier said that your salary is one of the least in your state.
Yeah.
So that means your nurses making more than what you are making.
Yes. There are so many factors that affect salary. The biggest one is your location, where you find yourself. So as I said, though I'm in New York State, where people are well paid, I am in upstate New York, which is so far away from where the money is. So your location matters. If you are working in California, you are not paid less than $100 an hour. If you are a travel nurse, if you are a weekend nurse, holiday nurse, night nurse, or agency or whatever, it all comes to play a role in your paycheck. If you don't let them deduct anything for your health insurance, you have your private insurance somewhere, obviously the money you take home will be better. So there are so many factors that affect salary. It's surprising when people tell them how much they earn. People tend to challenge you. It's a lie. She's not working there. Come over here and work. But there are so many reasons why people choose to live where they are. Cost of living, as I said, is a bigger one. So New York City will pay you all that money, $100 an hour, not less. And then you go and rent a small studio for $4,000 a month. So it balances out at the end of the day. That's what I want to do. The most underlying factor is balances out. One thing is also for the overseas nurses who are watching this, if you are looking for a job and you find an employer and all the stuff, try and bargain all the years experience that you had in the past. Try and tell them you have worked in all these fields. There are 2 people who leave the same nursing school, get the same job on the same floor, and are not paid the same. Everybody's salary is different. My co-workers that we all hired the same day, my pay is different from their pay. That is how America pays you. You have to go in there and tell them how much you want to be paid and give them reason why they should pay you. As I said, I had 2 employers. One said they were not going to consider my 7 years experience prior to coming to America. The other one accepted him, placed me at RN2, and now I'm an RN3. So another time I'll come on your channel and we'll talk about my RN3 pay, the difference between RN2 and RN3 pay. It's not a lot, but it's significant.
My salary, my £19 per hour, which is around $23 per hour, is one of the, well-paying rates in the UK in general. For those working in the hospitals, it's even way less than this for the basic rate. Yes. They are getting maybe 15 or something or 14 or something. So if this as a good pay, as a good salary for a month is your 2 weeks, then it's really, really strange. And I think if all you're focused on is salary, then you should know where to go. Especially if Priscilla is saying that this is one of the least that you get in her states, then I think with salary, no doubt, US wins hands down.
One thing I can also add is that you actually get paid more if you're part-time or per diem. Full-time, you don't get paid well at all. But if you're per diem, you can even make double or triple. So all the full-time nurses are dropping down to part-time or per diem nurses so that they can pick extra hours and make the money. Yes. So if you don't have anything holding you down, like if you're not using the hospital's healthcare service or insurance or whatever, it's very, very wise to drop to per diem and make double and triple the money.
Why can't you get per diem insurance on per diem? No?
You can, if you have a partner where you are on that person's insurance, then you don't have a insurance from your job, then you are free to drop down. But most of us are there because we get insurance from the job. That's why we are stuck there. So we cannot become per diem. But you can go also and buy private insurances. But trust me, buying a private insurance in America, it's a lot. It's about $4,000 a month. You can't. It's not reasonable.
Is your partner who is not a nurse on your insurance?
Yes.
Okay.
So he is rather on my insurance. So I need to stay full-time to be able to get the benefits that I applied for. You get it?
Wow. Yeah.
But if you're per diem or part-time, there are some benefits that you lose. But if you want to make money and still like have a steady job you go to, you're not a travel nurse, neither are you full-time, just drop down to reduce your hours. You can always make 20 hours. You go to work 2 days and you have the rest of the 5 days to go overtime. And that is like double or triple the price. So that is a smarter thing to do too. If you're not traveling, you can as well go and be a per diem or part-time and pick it as and when. They call it PRN, as and when needed. And you make a lot of money there.
Wow. So guys, I hope you got value from this. If you have anything to share, if there's anything we forgot to add, kindly leave it in the comments. I'll leave Priscilla's details if you want to get into contact with her, ask a few questions. I'll leave her details in the description as well. Don't forget, if you got any value, don't forget to hit the like button. And after exposing ourselves and sharing our payslips online, if you don't hit subscribe, then just know that you're a criminal. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.